Hello, and welcome again to Porch Puppy Comics, where, as we say, if you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch. I'm KJ with you this morning, and as I said, this is episode 7. And in episode 7, what we're going to be doing today is what I like to call potluck. They used to say, well, you look in the pot and hope you get lucky, but we we don't believe in luck, just a figure of speech. So I'm gonna reside to the old cartoon with the sheepdog, and as they were talked about even back in the Looney Tune days, they was breaking the third wall or the fourth wall. And the sheepdog said, you don't know what's in the pickle barrel until you're taking the lid off of it. So we're going to take the lid off of the pickle barrel today and see what's going on. Again, we want you to like, share, and subscribe. As I said, I'm a small channel, just trying to put out some books, just some content, something different, somewhat different. But just to show some books off here and there, just different hauls and different things. As you can see, the picture of the day is Mr. Deathstroke the Terminator. On the other side of him, hopefully, will be a picture of Deadpool. I always wanted to see these two face off, but I haven't got around to drawing it yet. But this is something that you can take a look at here. This is Deathstroke the Terminator, my rendition. So as we dig through the books on today, we've got this one I want to show first. This is Daredevil, issue 11, a 12-cent book, Silver Age. This book here, I traded for, and as you can see, it's yellowing and it's, but I mean, it looks good, on the outside. But the reason I traded for this is because years ago I had 10 and 11, which is the first appearance of the what they call the anti-men. They had a Birdman, a Gorilla Man, and one more, the total of 3 of them, a Frog Man. And so, but this one came across in a trade. But the only problem was, and you might as well say that my brother that I traded it from pretty much gave it to me, because the book, the cover is detached, but it's still a nice book. And like I said, didn't have to really pay nothing for it. It's still a good read. I still keep it. I like it real well. Daredevil number 11. The next book we have, Black Hawk number 174. It's just a 12-cent issue. I like some of the old Black Hawk books, even in the 20-cent, range. In the Bronze Age, they had a bunch of them that was pretty good. Storyline was okay. And liked it real well. The next book that I'll be showing you will be The Atom, number 27. And he's going up against the Panther. It's a nice book. It's got quite a few spine ticks, but still presents well. Like I said it before, I'm glad with the condition of it. It's got one of my favorite artists doing the cover and the interior arts in the person of Gil Kane, one of the old school artists. And I like Adam anyway, at least this variation of him. What else we got in the Pickle Barrel today? We have the first appearance of Captain Universe, a very underrated, underused character. Made his appearance in Micronauts number 8. As you can tell, the book looks pretty good. It's a little rolling towards the bottom on the spine, a little bit of something up here on the top. But other than that, it presents well, and I enjoy it. These next 3 books is a storyline. If you're able to pick it up, I ask you to pick it up. It's a good read. It's called Standoff, and this is dealing with Thor, as after his dad died, fighting Surtur, the fire demon, and Thor took over as the leader or the ruler of Asgard. He brought Asgard down to Earth. That was the first time. In Siege, he brought it down again, and it hovered over Iowa, if I'm not mistaken. But he brought this down, and it set off right over New York. And people started worshiping him as though he was a god. He had his mind all mixed up, and that's God with a little g. The next one is The Invincible Iron Man, number 64. And this is part 2 of Standoff, and also the first appearance of Iron Man's Thor Buster armor. As you can tell, his armor here looks like the Destroyer armor. And again, still a great book to read. Good storyline. We have Standoff number 3, the accumulation of all of it. You know, I think he ended up taking Asgard back to where it was, to the Golden Realm. And but you have to just really sit down and read the story. It's a good story. Art by Alan Davis, another good artist I like. And it's a good read. Sometimes it's hard to find them all at one time. It took me a while to get all of them. I think I had 2, and then finally ended up getting the last one at a show, you know, and just to have them, because I'm just weird like that. I went through the phase where I collected and just collected no matter what it was and how it was, and collected a little bit of everything, kind of went hog wild, pig crazy, and that didn't last too long. The next run of books we have, still in the Bronze Age vein, is my favorite variation of Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel number 20. This also is the beginning where she, as they call it, the bathing suit outfit. But it was something about this outfit and the way this Miss Marvel character carried herself. I mean, she come out of the old red and blue that the original Captain Marvel had in lieu of this one. Always like this one. And we got 20, we got 21. Fighting a race of lizard men. And as fighting the lizard men over in 22, she goes up against Deathbird from the Shi'ar Empire. I think she's Lalandra's sister, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have, which is the only other issue that came out. This was the last issue to date of Miss Marvel in this run. Now, if you get into the back of this particular book on issue 23, they'll say to be continued, issue 24, and they would tell you, but the book never did come to fruition until this book here was 1978-79. Years later, y'all, they printed the story in Marvel Superheroes 80-page giant summer special, 1992, and she's facing off with Sabretooth. And I'm telling you, if you find this book, I mean, it's a good story. And the whole thing, it picks up right where it left off from 23. It's really a great book. If you run across it, pick it up. I don't see it out too much in the wild. And so these, like I said, I usually keep, set on, make sure they're in my own PC, and don't try to get away from them too often because they're hard to come by. The next book we have in the Pickle Barrel, since we're going with the Pickle Barrel today, is Moon Knight number 20. This Moon Knight number 20, it's a giant size, and it reprints Werewolf by Night number 32 and 33. And this was in the midst of the run that I showed you prior, I think in episode 5 or 6, with David Finch, that run. And this book here, at the time, if you couldn't afford 32 and 33, and before they put out the facsimiles, this is the book to get right here. It also has the original covers of the issues inside this book. Another book that's hard to find. You really can't find this one out in the wild. At least, I never did. I think I ended up ordering this one a while back just to have. Our last 2 books of the day will be dealing with the history of the DC Universe. Story by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. Issue number 1. It's a square-bound book, and it came out in 86. He done all the interiors for this book, and I mean, it's outstanding. And I'm going to take just a few minutes and pop these books open. And it tells the whole storyline. This is after everything that took place during the Crisis on Infinite Earth. Let me find you a good picture here that you can look at while you are yet looking at the Moon Knight. But it goes all the way back, even coming on up through the Western characters, on up through the Army characters. This picture here, where they sent Superman, I want you to look at that. I mean, it is indeed fantastic. Oh, let me show you this one right here. This is nice too. This is really nice. See if you can take it all in. In every collection that I've had, I've tried to make sure I had these in my collection because I've always enjoyed them. Dealing with the World War II villains and heroes. Square-bound book, 1986. I'm telling you, George Perez at his best, working on trying to get me a run of Crisis on Infinite Earths from the 80s because it is a fantastic, fantastic book. This is issue number 2 of History of the DC Universe. And I'm going to crack this open because I want you to see, again, I know what you're saying, well, he just cracked open issue 1 and okay, we get the gist. And you probably do. But I just want you, there was a picture in here, and I mean it follows all the superheroes, but it's a picture of Batman in here that I'm telling you, it's fantastic. It even has a picture in here of the superheroes from other nations, and I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I mean, there is nothing for the art lover. It's everything in here. For the story and the history, it's everything in here. Oh, here's a good picture of Shazam. Check that out. Look at this. Amethyst, Raven, Halo, Shade the Changing Man. I'm telling you, folks, this is a nice book. I mean, it's one of them that you just would have to just stop and just really take it all in. And I knew once I would try to look for that picture of Batman that I would have a trouble trying to find it. Ah, here it is. I'm going to show you Superman first. Isn't that nice? That is outstanding. But now, folks, ladies and gentlemen, check out this picture of Dark Knight. Now, I know some of you might say, well, I've seen better pictures of Batman. Yeah, you might have, but this one here, it's in the top 10. George Perez at his best, y'all. A great book, a great read. If you see it, or if you're hunting, or if you're buying on whatnot, or Instagram, or Facebook Marketplace, you look, I'm just saying, if you got an opportunity to pick it up, because it is indeed a great book. And as I said before, I wasn't going to be before you long today. I just had them little stack to show you. Hopefully we'll have another one out come Monday if it be the will of the Lord. And again, I thank the community. I thank the Lord for being able to do this and have a little fun with it. As I said, this is episode 7. And instead of calling it the potluck, we're going to call it the Pickle Barrel. Because as I said, you don't know what's in the Pickle Barrel till you're taking the lid off of it. So here we are. So as I get ready to close out, I will leave you with this particular scripture. Romans chapter 12, verse 12. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continually instant in prayer. A lot of times it's just enough said. I appreciate you, community. Yet again, praying for all of you. Again, like, share, subscribe. Don't be scared because you hear a scripture and everything. Look, I'm still yet doing what I'm supposed to do and yet having fun with the comics. And you don't never can tell. You don't know what folks are going through nowadays. There's so much of evil going on. There's so much heartache and heartbreak. And you got to understand that only through Jesus Christ, he can help you. And we got people that they say they can help, but only he can truly help you. Deal with loss, deal with disappointment, deal with whatever's going on in your life. You can always go to him. And as I said before, that he will not put your business in the street. All right, community. Thank you again for tuning in to PPC, where it's nice on the porch. God bless you. And if it be the will of the Lord, hope to show you some great books on next week. Have a great day. God bless you again.